Well, thanks for checking out our channel here in one of our videos. It's been a long day, so we're just starting to finish up for the end of the day, and worked on a bunch of different units. I made a video on. We don't get very many Patriot. This is a Patriot Solar Guard 155. We don't get too many of these in for repair, or Patriot in general, because well, they don't make any parts for a lot of them. A lot of their Patriot units are non-repairable. They're throwaway models and brands. That goes for about 90% of the Patriot ones are non-repairable. The only ones that make parts for is this unit, the old PS15, which you can upgrade it and retrofit it into turn it into a Solar Guard 155. They make a kit to do it. It ain't cheap. It's about half the price of a new unit, kind of thing. Maybe a little more. I'm not sure. I haven't bought a kit in a while. The SG155, which is a half jewel unit that they sold for a while. They don't think they make that unit anymore either. They don't make this one anymore. They discontinued this one and the larger 555. They came out like a SG150 and an SG500, or I don't know what it is. Some new Patriot units. I don't know if they're repairable. Never seen one in person. They might make parts for it, but they haven't been out for about 6 months or so, the newer ones. These were around for, good lord, about 10 plus years or so. Made a lot of them, sold a lot of them. They're okay, as long as you can get parts for them. They're still, I guess, worth fixing. So we're going to jump on this thing and see if we can get it going. Alright, so there's our information right there, fencerfixer.com. And all of our information there, address, website, email address, phone number. So we work on all this stuff. We just an independent shop, tinkers on stuff for people. So this was missing the screws when I got it here, so I don't know what the hell happened. It's like someone's been in there, put their own bolt nuts on there or whatever. It's supposed to have a green or a black knob on the side there for the ground, but it's missing. But so I put that on there. But anyways, let's open this battery up. Well, first let's just turn it on, see what it does. And then it says no longer working, so what the hell does that mean? Well, this flash is like a really long flash. I don't know what the hell that means. So maybe it's just a battery issue. I don't know. They don't really tell you too much in the manuals. This thing, and to get these open is a real nightmare sometimes. Kind of a cumbersome thing to tinker on. Another flat screwdriver. Push that tab down. Usually you can just pull on it, but man, it's not wanting to come out of there. So push this big tab down, maybe get behind this one. Will that work? Started to. Go over here, push that tab down and go behind it. You usually don't have to do that. Usually just push and pull and it comes right out. Sit down, stupid. Okay, let's make sure no spiders hiding in here. I don't think so. Pull these wires off the battery. Get this battery out. No spiders, spider webs, cobwebs, and little spider eggs, but no spiders. Well, what is this, 12 volt or 6 volt? 12 volt. So let's check this battery to start with, see what it reads. Alright, so we're going to get our meter set on DC volts, which is that symbol right there. Mine's a Fluke auto range meter, so I just put the DC volts, and it changes its the setting automatically on the range. But just put it like on a 15, 20 volt setting. That way you can at least read 12. I'll go across here. 8. So 8 volts on a 12 volt battery. So let's I actually have another battery sitting right here. Looks just like it, but different color. I'm sure it's made in the same Chinese factory. I'll test across this. 12.7, so this battery is good. Well, let's see if that's all that it is at the moment. I mean, we'll dig a little deeper if we have to. Hook up the battery back up to it. Flip this thing over. Push the button. Hey, hear it clicking. That's what it's supposed to do. It's not very loud. These aren't loud units. Not stout units either, but for what they're designed to do, I'm gonna put a pretty decent little charge for a 0.15 joule unit output. So we're gonna test across here the meter and see what kind of voltage we get out of it. Get a better connection here. Come on. 10.3. So output voltage is good. So we're gonna turn this off. Let's check the solar panel. Now, there's different ways to check solar units on the solar panels. This one's probably small enough wattage wise that we can use the light in the room to do it. So that's what we're going to try to do first. If not, we're going to have to take it outside and do the actual sunlight. Because to get to a certain wattage rated solar panel, you got to take it outside and use actual sunlight. You can't do it with a bright light in the room. It's just not enough light. You know, that sort of story. Not bright enough, not wide enough array. So make sure the unit's turned off, and we're going to go across this. We're getting 2 point, if I can get my finger to hold it steady, getting 2.4 roughly. See if I can raise up towards the light in the room, see if it gets a little higher. There we go, 15.4. So I had to lift that thing up off the table and speed it up right up close to the light in the room to get the read decent. So I'd say the solar panel is fine, and the regular is probably doing its job. Let's see if we can pull these bolts off here, these nuts here. Maybe we can get, I don't know if I've got the, see if we got a nut that will fit. No, that's the wrong size. Too small. Well, let's see what we got in the old bin full of random knobs and terminals and stuff like that. Let's try Gallagher. Maybe a Gallagher knob will fit. Probably not, a little too small. Gallagher fit. Gallagher knob fit on a Patriot. Look at that. Perfect. Alright, so we're going to put the Gallagher knob on there and get rid of these nuts. Everything. We'll keep the nuts though, put it in a little drawer. Maybe we'll need them for something else. So you never know we need another set of nuts. Alright, so this thing, I mean, it's load test this battery, see if the battery's any good. Now, how you load test a battery to make sure it's good without having a battery load tester. Let me show you. I've got a digital DC power supply. It's variable up to like 20 volts or something like that. It's only about 18 volts, but it goes up to 3 amp draw is what it's capable of outputting if need be. There's a bunch of cells underneath these things, and each of them's got a little bit of voltage in each of them. They add all the way up to get to 13 volts or whatever. So what we're going to do, we're going to set our power supply to about 13 volts, and we'll put across terminals here on this battery. And my power supply's got a amp gauge on there. It shows me how much draw. Now, if there's a bad cell in this thing, usually it won't show an amp draw or very low. And we put 13 volts in a 12 volt battery, it should boost it back up. But if the cells are bad or won't hold a charge, then it won't have very much load at all on there. And if there's a big load on it, as it charges up, the amps will slowly fall, and it gets down closer it gets to being charged up, the closer that amp draw will get to zero, because it's not needing as much charge put into it. Well, it ain't doing a whole lot. 0.4 amp draw on a 12 volt battery. It's sitting at 8 volts roughly, so that's pretty low amp draw. It's kind of climbing up to, it's climbing up more. It's 0.6 now, so maybe we'll let it sit on here and that's down to 0. Now there's hardly any amp draw down there. 0.09 amps, so 90 milliamp draw. So it was at about 600 milliamp draw. And I don't think this battery's any good. But the rest of the unit's fine. Well, we're going to stick the battery I've got in stock. I'm going to put that battery in here and call this unit good. We're going to clean it up a little bit on the inside. It's missing all the screws, but I got screws that should hopefully fit this thing. So, but they do make parts for this unit. The Solar Guard 50, the smaller Patriot units, they don't make any parts for those. Batteries, and maybe you can find a knob that'll fit. But the battery base thing, unless I got a spare one laying around here, and the batteries you can get all day long, of course, but everything else they're just a throwaway brand. You know, that's just how they are. So let's hook this battery up and make sure these battery contacts are pretty loose. Suppose I need to clean them, and I put some dielectric grease on there, pretty crusty. I might have to put a new. That's what I'm gonna, instead of doing that, I'm gonna put new connections on there, because these only got one of the small ones in stock. These take a smaller spade connector, not like a 1/4 inch or like a 1/8 inch or something. I don't know what the hell they are. Smaller than what I've got in stock at the moment. Alright, so we're gonna clean off the junk. Well, it's not corroded. It's seen a little bit better days. It's just got some deterioration from age, more or less. My dielectric grease, antioxidant compound, they call it. Tighten it up. Tighten it up too much. Oops. Alright, how this thing sits like this. Now you have to put it in the back case first. Solar panel's seen better days, all these cracks in it, but I think it's superficial. So put some screws back in it. Good thing is most brands use similar size threads on their units. Not everybody, but a good portion of them do. Some use longer or shorter screws, but for the most part they're all about the same. So I buy these screws by the box full at the hardware store. Let's buzz it back in there. But other than a battery, I think that's all we need. I mean, the rest of the unit checks out fine. So if you've got a Patriot SG155, we'll be happy to take a peek at it for you. They do make parts for it, so you can get them fixed. But like most Patriot units, they don't make parts for. So if you have a small solar or dual powered unit of theirs, or an AC unit or a straight battery unit, they don't make any parts for it. Even the big 15 joule PMX 1500 or whatever the hell they call that big plug-in 15 joule unit, it's like $350. They don't make parts for it. It looks like a good unit, but they don't make any parts for it. So clean it off a little bit. So I gotta find me a rag. Yeah, see, it's pretty dirty. All the crap that was on there. Still read fine. It's probably mostly off this black stain, the case, but other than that, it's still good. So, well, that's it for this video. I mean, so if you got a fence charger that needs to be worked on, we'll be happy to take a look at it for you. Put a Gallagher green ground knob on a Patriot solar fence charger. Look at that. Same thread pattern, same bolt, I guess, same bolt size, style, whatever. All right, well, until next time, see you guys later. Remember to subscribe to this channel, hit that like button, ask us questions. There's information right there. Till next time, see you later.